Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel again. Today we have a game in my ISU-152, which is a tier 8 Russian tank destroyer. And I personally think that this tank isn't a strong one. I mean, I have kind of bad stats with this tank at around only 2000 average damage, which is basically not very good for tier 8. And this tank is only about the gun, nothing much more going about it. It's not really fast, it doesn't have any real armor to talk about. Gun mantlet itself is quite strong, and by wiggling you might bounce few shells, but other than that, you can't expect to bounce much, and the hit points is actually on pretty low side too, so you can't take much shots. If you take shots, you die pretty fast. So at this point, I took pretty usual tank destroyer camping location on Oasis Palms map and simply looking for some targets. Trying to land a shot on T-44 and managed to do that. So while being in this position, all I really need is basically for enemies to make mistakes and poke out, and if they do, I can have some really awesome damage from this location. And I really recommend using this location in tank destroyers with high alpha damage. Why I don't recommend that with tank destroyers with low alpha damage is basically because you don't have many shooting opportunities from this position, and you basically want to get the maximum out of every single mistake enemy does. So basically, when enemy pokes out, you want to hit him hard instead of, let's say, 400. I mean, 400 is kind of okay, depends on the tier, but still, you won't really make them change their mind when you are getting hitting for 400. So I noticed that the IS-3 is quite close to me, and I know that as soon as I try to land a shot on him, I will be spotted. So what I want to do now is to get a good shot and simply try to run into this dip to get some cover. Unfortunately, IS-3 notices me and puts one good shot without aiming, so we can say he was quite lucky because gun handling on IS-3 is really bad. But he manages to make a good shot, so well done to him. I really want to take out that IS-3, but I'm afraid to take a shot from him because if I take one more shot, that would put me into one-shot territory for any of the enemy tanks, and I don't really want that. Trying to look for a shot on KV-5 and I make a mistake. I keep myself exposed for IS-3 and he puts a good shot. So at this point I'm just obsessed of killing him, and he does a mistake, which makes my life a lot easier. So in this situation it's just me and Indian Panzer, and we are both one-shots for that KV-5. And at this point I'm really hoping that our Indian isn't a bad player and he has a clue on what he's doing. And I don't like what he's doing here. KV-5 just went this direction and he's going here, so that's really not the smartest decision. And he simply lets himself to be killed for free, which is not good at all. And now what happens is basically I'm a one-shot for KV-5 and I'm in the situation where the KV-5 is on pretty much full HP. So what I want to do now is I'm running binoculars on ISU, so I want to make the view range my advantage. So I set up in this bush and I try to spot him, and I managed to do that. While the base view range of the ISU is not very good, but with binoculars you can get a really good one. You just simply need to stay for 3 seconds and you light up your enemies. So I know that I have way better view range than he does, and all I want to do now is to keep engagements at good enough distance that when I shoot him, he doesn't manage to spot me. And basically it needs to be around 250 plus meters, because if I'm right, KV-5 has what, like 240 meters view range, and it's not very likely that a heavy tank will be using optics or binoculars. So view range is really my advantage at this point. I managed to put one shell into him, and at this point time is running out and I don't want to miss my shots, and so that's why I load the APCR. Not only APCR has higher shell velocity, it also has a bit better penetration on this tank, so it basically lets me to be more guaranteed with my shots, because at this point I can't really afford to bounce or miss any of those. So trying to set up again I managed to spot KV-5 at good enough distance, he can't even spot me, and it's all good. He finally realizes that he doesn't have time to cap, and he wants to come for me. Luckily I still have one high explosive shell, and at this point high explosive is more than enough for me to kill him, because he is on really low hit points, and high explosive on such big caliber guns like ISU-152 does really good damage. So he pokes out, does a mistake, and I simply finish him. And that's the game done. So really a good one, I was happy to take it. But unfortunately it wasn't an ace tanker, and I was really hoping for one on my ISU, but not this time, I guess. Still a really good game, 4900 damage, Top Gun medal, high caliber, sniper, and so on. So really a good game, and I hope you enjoyed, guys. So for today that will be it. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you like the content, and I will keep videos flowing, so just stay tuned and you should see some more nice World of Tanks Blitz action. Stay tuned and bye bye.